Ahead this morning, funding division, the shocking amount of taxpayer dollars going toward far-left curriculum in our nation's public schools. An alarming report this morning shows $1 billion taxpayer dollars from the Department of Education has been given to public school districts and universities, critics say, for DEI initiatives that have pushed far-left ideologies in education. Well, joining us this morning to discuss some of the big headlines in public education this week is the Director of Outreach for Parents Defending Education, Erika Sanzi. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Jan. Good to see you.
You as well. Your organization just released this very detailed report that only captures what's been committed for these DEI grants since 2021, of course, during the Biden-Harris administration. Give us some examples of the programs and really just the stunning amount of money that was spent.
Yeah, so this is, again, we're a small organization, so I suspect that we only scratched the surface. But we were able to document, with the contracts, over $1 billion in grants from the Department of Education to K-12 schools since 2021. So, essentially all during the Biden administration. And what we found were massive grants for changing the way schools implement discipline. So we talked a lot about moving away from punitive, moving away from suspensions to restorative justice. We see a lot of DEI-based mental health services, and then also lots of trainings around equity, racial justice, et cetera. And there's reason to be concerned because during the same time, we've seen schools collapse in so many ways. And yet we see all of this money flowing in the name of ideology. So we're not talking about literacy. We're not talking about math instruction. We're talking about ideology flowing from the Department of Education into the school systems.
Already, many companies are doing away with these DEI programs. President-elect Trump has picked to lead the Department of Education, Linda McMahon. They also said they are going to do away with this as well. Will it be that easy where they can just cut funding? I mean, is there any way to ensure taxpayer dollars are not going to woke policies in education? Because, some of these districts could just mask a program and call it a different name.
Yeah, I definitely would say people need to remain vigilant because we already see a lot of rebranding. So originally what we saw was that critical race theory became ethnic studies, and now we're hearing words like belonging a lot more. On the other hand, if there were ever a time to feel confident that we really may see some change in this area, I do think that this is it, because you have the Trump administration coming in, but there's also some power players in the business sector that are paying very close attention to this and who are also, very concerned, not only about waste, right? So you have like the Elon Vivek and this Doge thing looking to cut waste, but you also see it in the incoming administration. So I do think that a lot of these people that are making a lot of money off of DEI and K-12 are back on their heels right now, but vigilance is absolutely necessary.
Right, because as you said, there's some question as to how any DEI funds are used. For example, the school district of Philadelphia paid an organization $1 million to promote, quote, educational equity and racial justice. So what did that $1 million accomplish, and what metric are they using to understand how it helped any students?
Well, the thing about this that's even more distressing is that they basically saw a program in Oakland public schools that was an utter failure in a district that is a catastrophe. And they imported it into Philadelphia for about $4 million, knowing that the advisor for that program in Oakland was like a member of the Communist USA, whatever organization. So if you look at Philadelphia, you can't see any metrics, whether we're talking about math, reading, attendance, ratings on how safe students and staff feel in school, staff morale, consistent disruptions in class. There's just nothing positive to point to here. And again, what I would remind people, though, is if you think that you are functioning in a system of oppressed and oppressor in every context, and your goal is to tear the system down, which for many ideologues, that's what it is, then creating this, abject failure in a lot of places is a way to tear it down. So it's actually heartbreaking when you think about what the motives may be behind some of the people involved in some of these programs.
Meantime, learning and test scores right now at an all-time low. Parents Defending Education's Director of Content for us. Thanks for joining us this morning, Erika Sanzi. We appreciate you.
Have a nice weekend. Good to see you, Jan.
You too.